Another incident has shocked the city of Mumbai. A 36-year-old woman was allegedly killed by her live-in partner and chopped into several pieces on Mira Road. 13 body parts were found at the residence of the accused, and he reportedly disposed of the other parts after cutting them into several pieces. The accused allegedly boiled body parts in a cooker to ensure there is no foul smell. The accused, Manoj, Sane, 56 years of age, was arrested while trying to flee from his rented apartment. Sane was staying with the victim, identified as Saraswati Vaidya, in Geeta Nagar, phase 7 over the past 3 years. A gruesome crime, and a crime that has in fact shocked the entire country. We'll talk about this and more on our show.
The law is not implemented properly, and the role of society is also very shameful, because people hear this fight is going on in neighbor, but it's something personal, No, domestic violence is not personal matter. The neighbors should intervene. They should act.
He will face the law. The police will conduct its own investigation, charge sheet the case, and he will probably face the law. But the process is so slow that it takes about 7-8 years for this case to come up in the courts. Then it takes its own time in the court, and if at all a capital punishment is awarded, then another 7-8 years before it goes through the Supreme Court to the president back, and then the conviction is that punishment is carried out. It becomes a very, very long wait.
Rajalakshmi Joshi, well, you know, it's pointless to talk about why these men are motivated to do what they do. This also goes on to explain, that they are perhaps disturbed. They are perhaps, not living in a world which condemns and rebukes this kind of a behavior. But the problem also lies in how women sometimes also deal with this behavior, because this is not something which is born in a single day or after a single incident. This is a cumulative stress. This is a cumulative impact on somebody's mind that they end up behaving like animals. Do you think that when it comes to dealing with people like these, there has to be more social awareness on behalf of the state, on behalf of the private sector, and on behalf of this influencer culture that we have today?
Good afternoon, Vineet. And yes, this is a very heart-wrenching kind of an episode, and the more I read about it, the more I hear about it, I don't know, it is very disturbing. And obviously we are reminded of the Shraddha Walkar case, and in spite of all of that, it's amazing how this person was able to remain in his house for 3 years without his own neighbors knowing his name. That is the kind of a report that I've been hearing about all this. I've heard the reports of his neighbors saying that this thing went unnoticed for approximately some 3 days, and then later when the police went in, after this person, when he walked out of his house, his whole body, he himself was smelling of some dead rat or something like that, in spite of he putting deodorants all over the place. And his house was scattered with decomposed parts, and he has also fed some parts of her body to some stray dogs. Can you imagine the gruesomeness of this murder? This is something that I find strange, that how a person can exist in society. He is living with his live-in partner, and the next door neighbors don't even know their names. It should not come to a state where a person goes missing and nobody even realizes that they're missing. It should not be that way. So I think that there is a responsibility on the part of the individual themselves, that they should obviously, they should be in touch with other people, and people should realize if something goes wrong with them, if they are ill, unwell, if something, God forbid, something unfortunate happens, there should be somebody who realizes their absence. So it should be that way. And also, society should be accepting of people who are in maybe failed relationships. Women tend to remain in some toxic relationships because they feel that is better than the society outside, because they will not accept, or they will maybe demean them. They will say all kinds of things about their failed relationships, about say maybe a divorce or a live-in relationship. I think that people should understand that they should actually be supportive of them if a person was in a live-in relationship and they want to walk out. Because I'm sure that somebody who has not even mingled with their neighbors, who have never even walked out to be a part of any festivals or any social gatherings. That is what the neighbors are saying. So if such a kind of a person, I can't imagine what kind of a life they might have lived in inside their house. And I can't understand the state of the mentality of the woman also, why she had to put up with such a person. I'm sure that this person must have been very violent, and like Tahira ji was talking about all the domestic abuse, etc. Yes, women should walk out of such relationships, and the society should be supportive of them, and they should be welcoming of allowing them to give, to maybe start a new life. The law agencies, of course, once they are aware of all of this, they will definitely take action. Like the person has been arrested, Mr. Manoj Sane has been arrested, and that is a completely different thing altogether. But I don't understand the kind of a mentality of a person who chooses to remain within the four walls of his house, not even mingle with his neighbors, and then he feeds the stray dogs the parts of his live-in partner's body parts. I mean, this is something we are hearing more and more gruesome stories every day, Vineet. So I think that definitely society needs to take note of people who probably need any kind of assistance, or who need any kind of support. And I think we should be more understanding, and maybe then people will be able to open up, and they will be able to say that we are not okay, and that we are not in an okay relationship. Especially women who break ties with their parents, with their families, loved ones, to be in a live-in relationship. I think that they especially need to have at least somebody to share, whatever problems they're having, instead of ending up like this in body parts. I think that is something that all these people should, they should definitely be a little more aware, a little more wary of such relationships. I think that this thing about privacy, there should be a line between how much privacy a person should have and how
Right.
much they should actually
Let me also bring in.
others.
It's been tragic to talk about this. It's been tragic to cover this, and it's also been dismal to find out that such cases have continued to come up in our country in succession, one after the other.